Hello, everyone. Hello, my loves. Welcome to Monique and Sydney's Open Relationship. I am Monique.
And I am Sydney.
Hey, Daddy.
Hey, Mama.
Okay, so today's show, and y'all saw what it was. It is, do you lack confidence, right?
Yes.
Do you lack confidence? Hey, my babies, do you lack confidence? And why did we come up with this show, Daddy?
Well, we were reflecting on the people that have reached out and said, Monique, with all the things that be going on and everything, how do you be having the confidence?
No.
Okay.
No.
The confidence to travel on, to be able to be so strong in yourself. So we felt like maybe we should talk about confidence. Yeah.
Daddy, give it to me right.
I did, baby. Come on now. Don't tell me now. You
Con-
gotta have the confidence to say to your mama when she's
it.
trying to tell you, I want to do it my way. Can I do it my way?
Yes, you can.
Okay, thank
you. Yes, you can.
They forever be broke.
Well, I don't know if there was ever a time that I lacked confidence. I think there were times I was insecure. I think there were times, I was a little afraid, but I don't know if there was ever a time that I lacked confidence.
Well, to be insecure to some degree could be construed as a lacking of confidence in that moment. However, how were you able to, and how, I guess, would we be able to say we overcame those moments of insecurity to pull it together so that when you get in the real world and you're hit with the darts, the bullets, that you have the confidence to carry on?
Okay, so I was a grown woman, right? And we were doing Monique's Fat Chance.
Yeah.
And we were over in Paris.
Mm-hmm.
And this was the one where we had to get painted naked, right? And all of the women were really going through it. Except for, I'm going to say, maybe one or two. Because I can't remember her name, but one was just like, fuck it. Let's just get undressed. The rest of them, they were really going through it. Well, I was really going through it too. But I couldn't let anybody know that I was really going through it because I'm in a foreign land. I ain't see no fat people in Paris. Not even a chubby bitch. I didn't see any, right?
Just the ones on the show?
I think we were the biggest bitches Paris had ever seen in their entire lives. So now these women are really going through it. One sister was bringing God into it. Oh, it was just becoming this big, huge ordeal. So I'm in my space, and I'm saying, you know what? You can't ask them to do something that you're not willing to do. So I had to take my clothes off and come out from that curtain with all of my clothes off, and you just have on like this little thong piece so the paint won't get up in your good girl. And I had on this little thong piece and some heels. Well, they didn't know, but inside, baby, I'm just like, oh, now, shit, here it goes. And in those moments, it was either sink or swim. That's how I had to look at it. It was because these sisters are watching. And then even for me, it was like, all right, well, let's get it. Like, I got over that initial, here it is. Then I wanted to play it. I wanted to just have some fun. So I walked down to the cafeteria. Yeah, I was painted up though, with all my glory. But it was like you were in that moment, and you said, I'm here with it now.
So how would you say you were able to muster up the courage to have that confidence?
I think just in that moment, you had to accept what it was.
Bam.
And for me, let me go to the lines. Hey, you on with Monique and Sydney. Who's this and where you're calling from? Say it again, baby. You're breaking up.
I said, what's going on, Queen? What's going on, Sydney?
What's happening, man?
How y'all doing?
We doing good, man. How you doing? It's like maybe you're a little close to the phone. It's a little garbled.
Oh, can you hear me now, sir?
It says you may be a little close to the phone. I can't quite make out
Can you
what
hear
you
me
say.
now?
Yeah, sound like you pretty good now. Talk to her.
Okay, yeah, man. Y'all was talking about lacking confidence.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, man. I was going through me selling packages and whatnot, but then it just had to a point where, like, you know, we had a downturn, and it got to the point where I couldn't sell that much. And, sometimes the confidence do take wane for a moment, but you have to kind of, like, stay hungry and practice every night in order to keep the confidence tight. And now I kind of understand why, Monique, when you were so good at, being successful as an actress, you still started doing comedy. And, things keep themselves sharp.
Got you. I know what you're saying.
Okay. Thank you, my baby. We love you, honey.
Hey, Doc, could I say something?
Say it.
Please.
Hello?
Say it, baby.
I wanted to invite you guys to Judge Joe Brown podcast show. We've been trying to get at you guys for a minute. If you ever get a chance, we'd really be proud to have you guys on Judge Joe Brown podcast show. It comes on every Friday evening at 4 o'clock Eastern.
Okay, baby. You know what? Tweet me the information.
On your DM on Instagram?
Yes.
Okay, I will make sure I do that. My name is Maurice Duncan, though.
Thank you, Mom.
Okay, God bless.
Okay, sweetness. All right, y'all. We talking about it. Do you lack confidence? Go ahead, Daddy.
And what I was gonna say to Maurice's point, and you can go to the line, baby.
Okay. Hey, you're on with Monique and Sydney. Who's this and where you're calling from?
Hello, Monique. This is Michael giving you a call from Milwaukee, but we met in Chicago. Do you remember?
Hey, Michael, that lives in Milwaukee, but we met in Chicago.
How you doing?
Wonderful, baby.
Well, what? I did lack confidence. I want to put it that way because I remember when I first started doing comedy, and I knew what I wanted, why I wanted to do it, because I didn't see anybody doing comedy that sounded like me or spoke from my perspective, I thought. And so when I started doing comedy, I was very open about my sexuality and speaking about what it is to be a black man and be gay and what it is to be a black culture and, the funny in it and some of the things that happen and nuances, things like that. But one day, there was a crowd, and I was at a particular venue, and for some reason, I wanted to play to that crowd. So I didn't talk about any of that, and I didn't do any of that. Talk about who I was and things like that. And I kind of took myself out of my comedy. The person that put on the show, or the comedian whose show it was, by the name of T. Kingsley, he texted me after I got off this, and I had to leave because I had to go to another show. And he told me, don't you ever do that again. He said, don't ever take yourself out of your comedy. You always have to talk about you. And he said, what you did up there, that wasn't you. While there may have been people laughing, you're way funnier than that. And you're way better than what gay is tonight. And so, ever since then, I've been able to be me on stage because I understood that that's what people come to see, and that's what people come to appreciate, the truth in it, and the truth in who you are. And people really appreciate you for you. So, well, some people do. I can't say everybody, but that's something that I've learned just being me publicly. So I think that confidence is something I had to pick up, and then even going into relationships. I'll tell I'm somebody that if you express like me, I'm gonna tell you everything is wrong with me. So that type of thing. So yeah.
We appreciate that.
Love you, baby.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, my honey. We talking about it, y'all. Do you lack confidence? All right, this line is going to be, okay, let me get it. Hey, you on with Monique and Sydney. Who's this and where you're calling from?
Yes, hello.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Wonderful, baby. How you doing?
Hey, this is Grandpa Jenkins, the mouth of the South.
Hey, Grandpa Jenkins.
What's happening now?
Hey, y'all, how you doing, Mo?
Amazing, baby.
Auntie, it's good to hear your voice. Uncle Steve, you sound good, man.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Talk to us.
I got a big show coming up December 1st. It's called Matthew Reed, the big. Grandpa Jenkins loves you so much. Shit, I'm only 20 years old. I could be an old man. But the question was, do you lack confidence? Sweetheart, I must be myself. Yes, I do. I just got done being on the phone with Chicago Defenders, and I'm telling you, when you don't think you're enough, your confidence leaves. And it does. Like right now, I got a lot of people buying tickets and ready for the show, and my life now is kind of wretched because I don't feel like I'm enough. I'm not pleased enough to get to where I want to go. My confidence gets low. Like my whole motivation is to take care of my mom. You know, I mean, my goal is to make it happen before anything happens. And I don't want nothing to get in the way from it. And my confidence gets low when I feel like that. It gets really, really low. Sometimes I feel down, I feel stressed. I feel like, man, maybe, something can happen, and I may not get to where I want to be. Does it make sense?
It makes sense.
Yeah, sometimes it gets overwhelming. So I lose confidence a lot. I ain't gonna lie to you, I lose confidence a lot. Even though, just like I said, even though I'm a director, I get weak. And sometimes, if we have that backbone, that somebody gets in the corner and say, let's lift us up. That means a lot. Like, for instance, I ain't gonna lie to you, Monique, when you came to Chicago, and I don't think you understand, but that touched me so deeply. And you tell me, man, you're amazing. That touched my heart. See, sometimes you don't understand, but it be the small things that happen. Don't got to be no money or big, just be the small things somebody can tell you. You said, baby, you already made it. It touched my heart. That boosted my confidence. And that's what I think some of us as black men need to do. We need to be a face for our other black men. Because, so that us an outside won't be able to interrupt. Does it make sense, y'all?
And not only does it make sense, but what happens is sometimes we are under the impression that we are not confident and or lacking confidence and don't realize how confident we are, because it takes a level of confidence right now to expose your vulnerability. So within the boundaries of you thinking that you're not confident, you're actually exposing a bit more confidence than you even realize right now. And to the point of the first brother that called in, his name was Judge Joe Brown?
Maurice.
Mm-hmm. When he was saying he was having difficulties with sales. Well, my first sales job that I ever was in for 2 years in my late teens was selling Kirby vacuum cleaners, door to door for 2 years. And I know what it is to have somebody tell you, Mama, there's a nigga at the door. Nigga, if you plan on selling me something, you might as well pack your shit up and leave. I was in Charlotte, North Carolina. I know what it is to have somebody pull a shotgun out on you in the middle of it. I know what it is to have people tell you no. So sometimes when people ask you, how do you have the understanding to be able to manage someone? Well, when you manage people in a van crew out there, as crude as it may sound, you have to have intestinal fortitude to go beyond the nose, and it can make you break your confidence. But what happens is, as Maurice said, you got to continue working on you, and the more that you work on you, and our second caller was speaking in reference to his comedy, because there's a reoccurring theme. You can't deviate from who you are, because you are going to always be with you. And the same people that you would lack confidence in being in front of are the same people that have their own insecurities. It is when you focus in on your goal, you can never see any of the obstacles around you that would make you lack confidence. And when it comes to Monique, and you'll see it as you saw with her on stage, she's so focused on communicating with the people that are in front of her and connecting, it's one of those things that it's no longer a thing of confidence. It's we family, and we should be confident together in expressing ourselves. And that's all Monique and Sydney's open relationship is. Us embracing one another.
I'm a part of the relationship. That's right. Hey, Auntie Mo.
Yes.
You told me backstage, you said, Matthew, baby, don't let nobody leave without shaking your hand and hugging them and letting them know, look, I appreciate you. And that's something that's stuck to me. Because, man, my heart was big. And I'm not crazy. Sometimes people taking advantage of you because of your heart. And you know what? And I said, after the show, only when I seen you touching them people's yard, one woman stopped and she took them and she said, Matthew, today is the best day of my life. And I'm like, man, I said, man, is it Monique? She said, no, because of the love. You know, around me that she's giving. She's connecting people. And so what I'm telling you, I don't know. Hey, you know what? I said, you and Monique, hey, like, when I tell y'all bad, you won't die. I ain't cheating on y'all for nothing. I'm I'm here to the end. I ain't going nowhere. Free ticket, come on. But I'm telling you, you make people feel good, bro. You make me feel so good. Like I said, you're a father that I've never had in my life. And I mean that. And I don't just, just be talking to it. I mean it from my heart. Like when I see the real, you're real. You're a good person. If you're good come back to you. Timo, thank you so much.
We appreciate you,
We
brother.
love you, baby.
I can't wait to see y'all. I'll be in Atlanta real soon.
All right, Bob.
That's what's up.
Bye, honey. Oh, I'm sorry, baby. We're talking about it, y'all. And so appreciative of the honesty.
So appreciative of the honesty. Because you have to have a level of confidence to be honest with yourself.
Hey, you're on with Monique and Sydney. Who's this and where you're calling from?
Monique, this is Sydney. I'm calling from Cincinnati.
Hey, Tiffany from Cincinnati.
Monique, I just want to say, I know this is off topic. I love you so much. I love you, Sydney. I love y'all relationship. I am a 36-year-old single mom, and I watch you, Monique, all the time. I loved when you were heavier and you had your jokes and they were directed for smaller women. I am a smaller woman. I loved it, Monique. It would be wonderful if eventually as you travel, you could travel to Cincinnati. I'm sure we would come in groves to see you. You are such an inspiration, you and your husband, just as one. And I just want to say I love you so much and thank you for being the strong, independent Black woman that you are. Thank you.
Thank you, Tiff. I love you back, baby.
Thank you very much.
That's all I wanted to say, Monique.
All right, my sweetness. We love you, sis.
Thank you.
Okay.
Mom, I'm talking to Monique. Say hi.
Hey, Mom.
Yes, you need to stop playing this stuff.
How you doing, baby? I'm wonderful, Mama. How you doing?
We love you. You know what? I know you don't have a whole lot of time, but I have to say this. I remember I have to say at least 25 years ago, you were here in Cincinnati at a little club, and I sat in the front row, and we love you. We love you. We love you.
I love y'all, babies.
Yes. Say hi to Sydney, Mom. Hi, Sydney.
How you doing?
I'm fine. This is amazing. Oh, my God. I can't wait to put this on Facebook. I can't believe it. You guys are so gracious. You're so gracious to even talk to us on the phone. We're your biggest fans, and we always have been. I had to just, of course, my children to you. And, I mean, they grew up listening to you.
Thank you, sis. We love y'all.
Y'all have a great day.
All right, baby.
Monique, I let my children listen to you because they need to hear the real. I used to try to give it to them at home, but you finish it out for me. So they grew up knowing what was really going on and what was really happening. And you inspire us, and we just support you, and we love you, and we always have. And
Thank you, baby.
Please keep on.
Thank you, babies. We love y'all so much.
Thank you, now.
All right, and we'll continue watching.
Mwah. That's why I love us.
That's what we love it.
That's family. They aren't calls of fan calls. That's family. That's your auntie saying, bitch, I got one more thing. Wait a minute. And when you be like, okay, well, bitch, just this one last thing.
One more.
That's family right there. But I think that the calls that are coming in with this show, it allows that honesty to come through. It's like because we're trying to get better.
That's it.
And people, I know for me, I know there's no judgment coming with it. It's like, okay, is that how you're feeling? Let's talk about it. Let's talk it through. So for all the babies that's calling in, sharing your heart, I don't think y'all realize how many people y'all touch. And how many people, just people hearing your voice saying, this is what I'm dealing with, then they realize they're not unique in what they're dealing with. And they say, well, if they can get through it, I can get through it. So it's not just me and Sid, it's y'all too. Even in some of the comments y'all leave, it's us touching each other.
There it is.
Yeah, baby, I throw it to you, damn.
Hey, it ain't nothing thought of me. It's like you just hit it right on the head.
We're talking about, do you lack confidence? And so somebody asked the question, is lacking confidence and insecurity the same thing?
Again, it can be. If you are insecure in reference to it, there's a level of confidence that you're lacking in whatever you seem to be insecure about. But the key to it is being able to muster up the courage to fight through that moment of insecurity. And when you start understanding, I think what helps is this. When we don't try to present ourselves as perfect, and we're comfortable in the fact that we are imperfect, it allows the confidence that you would to have to come naturally, because you're confident that it's a possibility you may do something incorrectly, but as confident as you are that you may do something incorrectly, you can be just as confident that you will do it correctly. And if it by some chance doesn't go the way you like, you're big enough to be able to suck that up and then go to the next one and to the next one. It's kind of like when we were watching our children and play baseball, and we had a conversation with them in reference to confidence, because oftentimes we would see kids get up there and not want to swing the bat for fear of striking out. But there's an old saying, you are going to miss 100% of the pitches that you don't swing for. So striking out is a part of being a great hitter. And I've said it before, Babe Ruth struck out more times in history than anyone else in Major League, but he is known for the home runs that he hit. And you cannot hit a home run unless you swing that bat. So back to what that Maurice had spoken about earlier. He was the salesperson, right? Back to what he said earlier, you got to continue to go on even when it gets tough, because there's no one out here has acquired any level of success without failure. And the fear of failure is the thing that makes people lack confidence. But failure is the predecessor to success. And that's it.
I think oftentimes too, lacking of confidence is poured into. It's poured into. And you may have a kid, you may have a mate, whomever. If you pour it into them, for them to lack confidence, that's going to take place. That's going to take place if you pour it into them. Because I be at those games, and some of them kids that go up to the plate, but the parents aren't helping the situation. Like that, so I understand why they be just like, oh well, if I hit it, I hit it. If I don't, I don't. Let's go to the line.
And that's in some situations. They may not, because you got to understand, the parent may be lacking in confidence.
Oh, come on now.
So it's difficult to be, you know, and wait a minute.
You know he here.
And our lovely troll at Brantley says Oprah is the only perfect like Jesus.
Hey, Bradley.
Hey, Brantley. And there you have it. So it's one of those things where the only thing we can do is have those conversations with our kids, with our mates, with our friends, with our families, because there's gonna be a period in your life, and or has been periods in your life where you've experienced a lack of confidence, but at some point, hopefully you get to a place in a space in your life where you say, you know what? Why am I not confident? I'm only dealing with human beings. Just like me.
Hey, you on with Monique and Sydney? Who's this and where you calling from?
Hello?
Hello.
Hi.
Hey.
You're on with Monique and Sydney.
Okay, crazy. Okay, this is Jenny. I'm from Stillwater, Oklahoma.
Hey, baby.
Hi, yes, I love you guys. I'm very appreciative of you guys' videos. You talk about things that really help people, and I'm so happy I got this. I feel like confidence is hard because people in society are not. I feel like a lot of people lack negatively because of that. Like if people have goals and it seems like a goal that's too hard, like you want to become an actress or something like that, people aren't going to say, oh yeah, you can do that, girl. They're going to say it's hard, and they're not going to be very supportive of your goals. I feel like you have to have confidence from beginning from the get-go because it needs to be unwavering. Because people like talk you down. Like I feel like if you didn't have Sydney, I don't know, like your confidence with how people treat you. I mean, if you didn't have him to help you with your confidence, I don't know how you would do it.
Well, if I may.
Yes, my love.
There's a high level of confidence Monique already had in order to step on a stage. So to get on a stage in front of individuals and you're by yourself, you cannot have a 28-year career without being able to do it. And though we've been friends for now 35 years, her confidence didn't come from me because when I first met her in the 10th grade, I thought she already had a checking account and was paying bills. That's how confident she has always been. And I don't know where you caught the show at, but she's never lacked for confidence. But what can happen is in this industry per se, it can make you question your decisions because if you're surrounded in a bubble by people who, for example, when Whoopi Goldberg said to Monique, I could have schooled you because you were supposed to go ahead and promote something that you weren't contractually obligated to do. And if you're surrounded by individuals who, with all due respect, have that slave mentality, it can seep into you, and then you acquire it because there's no one around you to say, hey, you know what? If you can't go to them and ask them for $1 million that they don't owe you, they can't go to you and ask you to promote something that you don't owe to them. So I would say in a relationship, we have built one another's confidence to let one another know that we're on the right track, and that's the benefit of relationships. But when you say people can take and shoot down your goals, one rule in reference to your goals, always remember this: everyone does not need to know what your goals are. You only tell your goals to people who you love and who you trust. And if you don't have anyone around you like that, you love and trust yourself, hopefully. So you tell you those things and you go to the lab with it, which is your soul. and you address those things in your soul, and you turn that potential energy into that kinetic energy, and you make it happen. So oftentimes with our confidence, we have to start with ourselves first, because if you're waiting for other people to give it to you and allow you to be confident, it's the proverbial, if you wait for all the lights to turn green before you leave the house, you'll stay at home forever.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that makes some sort of sense to you.
Yes, sir. I just feel like when you're growing up, parents don't give you enough. You're great, and then you go into the world, and it's hard to have that confidence. You just want cheerleaders, but you just have to be your own cheerleader. And it's very hard.
You've got to be your own cheerleader first and foremost before anyone will know that you were trying to be a cheerleader.
Yes.
So believe in yourself, because again, for you to be able to call in and express yourself shows a level of confidence that supersedes your ego. See, when we drop our ego, that's when the confidence raises. We oftentimes associate people who are egotistical as having high confidence, but oftentimes that's a cloak for their insecurities. It has nothing to do with being confident. So when we're confident enough and brave enough to drop our ego, which the acronym for ego that we say is expectations gone overboard. And those are the expectations that go overboard that we put on ourselves and believe and or want others to believe, but we're not totally invested from a spiritual standpoint in what it is that we say, because we don't need to tell everybody how great we are. But you can show people how great you can be when you're exhibiting your talents. So people don't need to know your goals unless they're sharing them with you and you believe and you trust in them. And believe it or not, everything that you were not told, all the love that you weren't given, all the confidence that no one ever spoke to you about, gave you everything you need to be exactly what you want to be. Use what you haven't received to have everything that you want. We thank you, love.
We love you, baby.
Thank you so much, you guys. Please stay strong and keep doing what you're doing forever. I love you guys.
We love you
We
back.
love you, sweetness.
Bye.
Bye, honey. You know,
Hotline. Come on.
hey, you on with Monique and Sydney. Who's this and where you calling from?
This is Jaquan. I am so excited to talk to you guys. I've been following you forever. I just wanted to comment on, kind of piggyback off of what Sydney was saying. For anyone that is struggling with confidence, just remember one thing. You can fail, but you can also win. And I think that's the biggest thing that people have to keep in mind. You cannot let the fear of failure hold you back, because that is the one thing that will stop you. You can't walk forward unless you take a step. But that was all I wanted to just get off my chest, was just to say he has nailed that in the coffin with that one. Because I see so many people that won't take the risk, that won't take the stance, that won't really just say what they really believe in, because they're too afraid of being rejected or being defeated. And people like you who stand in your truth, who continue to do the right thing, that keep their integrity, is going to keep the world being that better place, that better future, and continue to help those younger people know that they can make it.
Well, the fact that you call in and say that gives us confirmation that we're going in the right direction, because we can hear the youth in your voice. So if that's how we're connecting with you, we are fortunate and we appreciate you giving us a call and giving us that confirmation.
Thank you so much.
Thank
we love you, baby.
Love you too. When are you coming back to Virginia, Mo? I didn't get to see you at the Funny Bone when you came this year.
I'm not sure when I'm going to be back, honey.
Please come back whenever. I will be looking.
All right, my sweet baby.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
And as Sky Sister, you know what? We gotta love at Brantley because he's that drunk uncle that come to the cookout trying to spread negativity, but you love him anyway. So to address what he says, how can you have those motivational speeches, but you tear down three of the most incredible human beings on the face of the earth, meaning Oprah, Tyler, and Lee Daniels? And here's our reply, or at least my reply. You hit him, but our reply is we're never gonna tear them down because we love all three of them. What we're trying to do is not call them out, but call them up. Because what happens is when you have individuals like yourself that are to a part of the slave mentality where we need to look up to mere mortals, we're simply saying that by us being mere mortals who we choose not to project imagery of being perfect because we know that we are imperfect, but you deal with three individuals. I won't say Lee, I'll say Oprah and Tyler. When you project an imagery of being perfect, but then you're not, someone has to love them enough to say, come on with the real folks and stop playing. You giving master classes, but tell us about love. Don't tell us about how you can make money. Don't like when it's all said and done, where do you go to find your peace? I'm not talking about to the resort. I'm talking about the inner peace. When you have a man in Tyler Perry that is not honest enough to come out and say it to the public what he said in private, that's a 6'5", damn near 300-pound black man, but he afraid of the white system that's going to say to him, I want to call you up, Monique, for a part with Lionsgate, but they would have a fit. They would have a fit if you told them the truth that she was right, that why would she go and do something for you guys for free? But then you're going to turn around and give Tiffany Haddish a call. For what? That sounds like some Cadillac Records stuff to me, but I digress. At the end of the day...
Well, I don't want you to digress, Daddy.
No, I'm saying I want to go back to the point of the matter when he says motivational. We are trying to speak in a way that is motivating them to have a real conversation with the public. And when a person can see the error in their ways, which is so easy to see right here, and they're bold enough to speak to it, where ironically, again, you have a Whoopi Goldberg that's going to school Monique as to how to do what the system tells her to do, and then you blink and you turn around and see her in the Tyler Perry movie. What are you pointing at, my love?
The camera.
Okay, love.
Daddy.
And you are in a Tyler Perry movie. You just find the timing of it interesting. And we never are attacking them. What I attack and what we are addressing is their actions, their words. As far as human beings, they're probably beautiful people. And again, they are brothers and sisters. We love them. But at the end of the day, we got to say what it is for real.
Well, when we do a show, do you lack confidence? And someone would say they're billionaires. How could they lack confidence when you're not willing to be honest? That's a lack of confidence. When you're not willing to go to those white executives and say what you said privately, that is a lack of confidence. And because we so quickly get caught in people with money, we automatically think they're the most confident, they're the most brilliant, they have all the answers. When you have a woman in Oprah Winfrey who will not have a real conversation, a sit-down conversation with myself nor my husband, that is a lack of confidence. Not I'm so busy, and that's a lack of confidence because I'm not confident enough for the world to.
Come on.
So when we do a show, Do You Lack Confidence? And I'm appreciative of these young babies that's calling in here saying, let me share my truth. Because what happens is if we can catch them right now, if we can catch that generation where they're not fighting with lacking confidence because other people's opinion, even if no one at home was cheering you on, but you saying, you know what, goddamn it, I'm gonna put on my damn cheerleading outfit and I'm gonna go cheer for my damn self. Y'all, for the babies that's calling in, I was that girl too.
And at miles ahead when you say y'all gonna shoot down Oprah, Lee, and Tyler, but Roseanne is good. Yes, she is.
Come on.
Because what happens is you speak from a place of what you hear in the media. We're speaking from a place of what we experience personally. And when you have a woman in Roseanne that people are trying to call racist, but she's working on trying to get an independent film out about who?
Malcolm X.
When she's on her podcast speaking to a gentleman by the name of Leonard Rowe, who was a promoter or is a promoter in this business, and saying that there are not enough black promoters and they try to keep me from people like you because you're black. What racist does that? What racist because you heard or saw her wearing a Hitler outfit but didn't know that she was Jewish? See, what happens is you begin to start speaking about things, and that's why Chuck D said, every brother, if you don't believe me, look at Tyler, look at Oprah, look at Lee. They are prime examples. And I'll tell you this, Roseanne is more a sister for the community for real than Oprah, Lee, and Tyler could ever be until they brave enough to tell the truth. How about that?
So again, babies, don't get tricked on a pretty package. Open it up. Look inside. See what the ingredients are. What they mix that shit with. But we get so caught up in, it looks pretty. Everybody else using it. So let me go ahead, and you're not even understanding what you're following or believing in. So when we do a show called Do You Lack Confidence? And we name those people, and that brother says, how come it seems like y'all are the only ones with a problem with them? No one else. Let me say this to y'all. We don't take it personal because there's, in my humble opinion, I'm sure there's a lot of else's. But we are too afraid to speak up and speak out. Because what people will say is, well, you know what can happen. You know what they'll do. And they're used to people lacking confidence to be confident enough that if I stand strong, shit gonna be okay. It's gonna work out.
And when what you saw were our African brothers and sisters walking into the woods and being captured by African men that walked them to the ship.
Mm.
The mentality that Whoopi Goldberg displayed on The View, that Oprah displayed in her silence, that Tyler Perry displayed in his silence, that Lee Daniels displayed in his silence, and at the same time contradictions, is equivalent to walking your people to the ship that look just like you.
Mm-hmm.
See, there was one of my favorite movies, and is Life with Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence. And there was a guy that was given a gun, the black guy, the little black guy.
It's 3 o'clock.
That was put in charge of keeping all of the Negroes in check, all of the black prisoners in check. What happens is, if you look at the Willie Lynch doctrines, that's a formula that's been going on for years. If you give one of us power, they'll keep the other ones in check. And what we're saying is, be brave enough not to let anyone keep you in check. Be confident in yourself and they keep you in check and lead you to the ship, unless the ship is a cruise that you choose to be on.
And I don't even want to go on them.
Come on,
'Cause
that's
shit could get different
That's
in
a
the
different.
middle.
That's a different story altogether.
Real shit though, y'all. And these are the conversations that I believe our community, and when we say community, people, our community, we're too afraid to have, we're not having, and we're beating around the bush and we talking a lot of bullshit. But to say lack of confidence, someone would say, however could they lack confidence? Because when you're not willing to stand up for what's right,
Come on.
you lack the confidence. If you're not willing to stand up to your boss and say, listen, I am doing the work that says I'm supposed to get $30 an hour, but you're paying me $17.50 an hour, I can no longer accept that. Oh, well, then this is your last day. Then, God damn it, let it be my last day. Because I need to get what I'm supposed to be getting. And they get so used to us being too afraid. I can treat you how I want to treat you, talk to you how I want to talk to you. What you going to do about it? Because I know you're not confident enough to stand up to what's right.
And you just may run into that individual that was waiting for you to tell them the real so they could. They were waiting for you to be strong enough to let them know this is what you deserve.
Come on now. Shit.
And at Black Dollar says, stop suffering in silence. He hit it right on the nose, because we in our culture as black folks and people of color, because I got folks that I know that are Latin descent too, that have gone through the same exact thing, where the darker the skin, the more prejudice they can have exposed to them. And what happens is we have been trained to be embarrassed about what it is that we don't know, as opposed to saying, I don't know it. That's why I was saying to the caller earlier, and Grandpa Jenkins, you were expressing a great deal of confidence by saying you feel a lack of confidence, because that's going to get you to a place of confidence, because you're going to keep stepping out there, not on faith and believing in the unseen, but by you stepping out there, you will see why you should be confident. And that will allow other individuals to be able to gain confidence too. But the problem is, in our society, we want to one up everyone else, as opposed to feeling comfortable with being equal with one another. We got to have at Brantley got to have people above him so he can give praise to him. My here so we can give praise to him. But you're uncomfortable with them being equal to you, just like they're uncomfortable being equal, because they don't want you to see the lack of confidence, the lack of insecurity. And again, this is not us trying to talk bad about them, because I want you to understand, we love them. They have done great things. They have provided jobs. They have put people in places and helped folks out in a way that they would never see. And the first rule of sales is you never knock someone else's product in order to boost you up. We're not above them. What we're saying is, at this juncture, in this lifetime, we just shooting straight with you in a way that I have not seen them do.
Well, but you know what, Daddy? And I think oftentimes why you have the Brantleys and
Miles ahead,
because, like you said, we're in a society that says be quiet. We're in a society that says, I know goddamn well you just told me a lie. But we're in a society that says, well, okay, it was a lie, but shit, it was alternative facts. So let's just go on away with that. We're in a society that you can hear a man say, I grab him in the pussy.
I grab him in the pussy.
That's what I do. But now he is the president of the United States of America. We're in a society where we have been taught so much fear. So when I do see brothers like at Brantley and what's the other cat name?
Miles ahead.
Miles ahead. It's disheartening, because for me as a black woman, if you are a black man and you have a family, it's disheartening for me, for your family, that you would put other people above you, because what are you feeding your children? What are you feeding your mate if you do have a family? So again, I understand us being down for people. I get that. But I'll be goddamn if I'm going to ever consider another human being that I don't know. I know an image.
But while we're on it, we can tell you about some real ass cats in the game.
Come on now.
There's a guy out there, you may have heard of him. His name is Donald Glover. You ever heard of him? Sometime he go by Childish Gambino.
Yeah.
That's a real cat.
Yes.
And the people that are around him, Brother Fam,
yes,
Sylvia Zachary,
yes,
they're real folks too. But these may be names that you wouldn't know are part of the movement because of the way they get down. But we got to call out real when we see real. See, the folks, your girl just knocked out an Adidas commercial with Brother Donald Glover, and he reached out at a time where you supposed to be afraid of Monique. What Jamie Foxx said, we love you, Oprah, but we afraid of Monique. And when you have a talented cat like Jamie Foxx as an example, one of the most talented folks in the game, to say something like that, but we love that cat so much, we got to speak to the reality that there is a movie coming out called Robin Hood.
Come on.
That has a guy that is somebody I never heard of, a white gentleman I never heard of. But you have an Academy Award winner, an Academy Award nominated individual in Jamie Foxx, but it just says the white guy's name and it says his Jamie Foxx. But then you got a movie out called The Favorites that looks like it's done in Elizabethan times with a cast full of Caucasians. And you see Academy Award winner, one lady, and an Academy Award winner, Emma Stone. We speak in reference to that. See, these are the things that we are not bold enough and brave enough and confident enough to have a conversation so that individuals who, quite frankly, may be unconsciously biased. Everybody is not a white supremacist that is biased in their understanding, because repetition brings on retention. And if you repetitively been conditioned to look at yourself as a secondary citizen, it is very easy if you, as a person of color, look at yourself as being a secondary citizen in this society. Well, the people who have been imposing that conditioning, it makes it that much easier for them to buy into it as well.
You know, again, I want us to pay attention to the lessons, because oftentimes we just get entertained and we don't pay attention to what's really going on, and that is a lack of confidence, because we get so comfortable. Just feed me what the fuck you want to feed me and I'm going to chew it. I want to just go back to something that you said, because I really want us to pay attention to this. And somebody would say, Monique, why are you even speaking on this? Because I must, because it is my sister. When they said Tyler Perry got my sister Tiffany Haddish a car, I said, are we paying attention to the lesson, or are we being entertained? Because has my sister Tiffany Haddish gotten that multi-million-dollar movie? Because she came out of $100 million plus movie, and she was the breakout talent. So y'all know sisters do it when they're the breakout. That's
Amy
Melissa
Schumer.
McCarthy. That's Amy Schumer. That's our white sisters. They get those big, big paychecks. So I understand he bought her
And
a
they
car.
deserve it.
And they deserve it. They're putting the asses in the seats. You deserve it. I understand he bought her a car, but did he put up the right money in her contract for her services? So we get caught up in, wow, that's a car, but that's how we continue to get tricked and used and taken advantage of. And because we look at people who we believe are juggernauts that don't have the confidence to say, we've got to change the formula, because now I do sit in a position where I can make it different. We must change the formula, and they still lack the confidence, and we're still slammed with the inequalities that go on. Let's not get confused with the bag and confidence. Hey, you're on with Monique and Sydney. Who's this and where you calling from?
Hey, it's Betty White. I'm calling from Florida. I'm originally from Argentina, though.
You know what? We can't really make out what you're saying. I'm sorry.
Oh, hello?
We can hear you. Can you try to say what you were saying again, please?
Oh, I said I'm calling from Florida, but I'm originally from Argentina.
Got you. Now we can hear you better.
Welcome, baby. Talk to us.
You know what? I just you guys in your relationship, and I've been in the comments with people like talking shit, and I went back and forth. If somebody is happy and the content is confidence, if somebody is happy and confident in their relationship, then I don't understand why people like to go into other people's relationships. And as far as Oprah and everybody else, you know, they just.
Well, I guess we lost her.
They done came in and cut a line.
They cut a line. But and to another point, we live in a world and in a society where you have Donald Trump who calls black players sons of bitches for taking a knee. But on Veterans Day, he don't go and visit Arlington Cemetery to pay his respect to the fallen soldiers.
Mm.
So what happens is you start understanding this is not about the fallen soldiers. This is not about the military. What he was really saying is the NFL going to let them Negroes mess up y'all money by having them take a knee when the military done paid dollars for the ability for them to come out and recruit you into war.
Come on now.
That's the reality. So when we start paying high regards to individuals and not really listen to what it is that they're saying, or should I say, you're only listening to what they're saying and not watching what they're doing, it begins to put you in a situation where you become a follower and not your own leader.
Mm.
Be your own leader. Be your own leader. We got too many followers, but we understand you got to learn how to follow in order to lead. But when you follow somebody, make sure you're following someone who's real, not following somebody just because you know them to be rich.
Oh, right. Come on now.
That's
we talked about it, y'all. We talked about it, and we hope y'all got out of it what we got out of it. Because every time we have these conversations, I walk away feeling like, you know what? I needed that, and I appreciate that. Because it's just real talk. That's all. So we appreciate y'all listening, babies. And listen, if y'all are going to be in Las Vegas.
Tell them.
If y'all are going to be in Las Vegas, babies, I have a residency there starting January 10th.
Where's it going to be at?
At the SLS Hotel.
Okay. At the Sayers Club.
At the baby. Y'all listen, when I tell you your girl is excited, because that feels like that old Las Vegas to me.
At Brantley, come on down now. Come on down. Come out.
We love y'all, my babies. Tell a friend, tell another friend. And like my daddy always says, the mind is like a parachute.
It is no good unless it's open.
We love y'all.
For free.